Hey, hello everyone. How you doing? We are so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for joining us, for all of you here in person and everyone joining on the live stream. Are you ready for FFDC 2026?
Yes! All right. Like John mentioned, it's been so exciting to see our continued growth. And today, we're excited to talk to you about all the progress we've made here at FlutterFlow and to show you where we're headed in the coming months.
Now, whether you're at a larger company or at a startup, it's all about serving your customers. If you're building a product, it's really a tool that you build that serves the product that serves customers on your behalf. And for us especially, we're very privileged because we're working on a product that allows our customers, you, to build your own products that are serving your customers. The way we make impact is through the impact that you make with your end users. And so for us, the adoption is something that matters a lot. And today I'm excited to share that there are over 250 million users that are using apps built on FlutterFlow. So thank you for all the work you're doing.
Cool. That's right, Abel. And that's really what it's all about. And now it's time to show you what we've been cooking in 2026. This year, our product investment has been organized around two very simple principles: helping you build faster and helping you build better. Now, build faster means new flows that help you get from intent to working app with less friction, whether that's leveraging AI directly in the product or connecting FlutterFlow to the agents you're already using. Our goal here is not to skip steps, but instead to accelerate the real building process. Now, build better is the other side of the equation. That means making the platform more powerful and investing in the day-to-day experience of working in FlutterFlow, whether that's building, debugging, or testing, and the quality of life improvements that make serious projects easier to manage. And most of these improvements came directly from your feedback. So we're always really grateful to hear from you all. So with that, we're excited to show you all the incredible things that we've been building, starting with the rollout of FlutterFlow 7.0.
All right, let's play the video.
All right. We are so excited about FlutterFlow 7.0 rolling out just next week. But all right, so now that you've seen a sneak peek of what's coming, who's ready for some demos? All right. We're going to start with our theme of building faster. And of course, to kick things off, I want to invite Ayush onto the stage to tell us about all the improvements coming to our latest release, the FlutterFlow MCP.
All right. Morning. Hi. I don't know if you have heard, but there's this new concept in town, and if, like me, you have been living on the bleeding edge of technology, there's this amazing thing, very new, absolutely cutting edge, called MCP. Have you heard about it? Not sure, but we have. And earlier this year at FlutterFlow, we hopped onto the MCP train and we released the FlutterFlow MCP. Thank you so much for all the amazing things our community has been building with it. And we are very grateful for all the incredible feedback that we have received. We have heard you, and we have improved the MCP quite a bit. And today I want to share some updates on the same. Up until now, you were able to adopt an agentic workflow and make edits onto your FlutterFlow projects via the MCP. But when you're working on anything even slightly bit serious, you can't just rely on the preview. You also have to run the application and have that workflow wherein you are making edits via the agent and you are seeing them run live. Introducing live session as part of MCP. So now you'll be able to talk to your agent of choice, and MCP is a bring your own agent model. So you can choose whatever Claude, Codex, Gemini, or whatever agent you like. And you can ask the agent to run your application on, on any of your available local devices. You can ask it to do hot reload, restart, stop the session, take a screenshot. It has access to your debug logs. So it really augments your overall development workflow a lot, and you can now debug with AI in FlutterFlow. So I'm sure it will be a bit helpful. Second, there was also a lot of feedback about when I want to do large operations, I am a bit more patient, right? I will wait for a couple of minutes for it to complete. But let's say if I wanted to make a very specific edit, currently in our MCP workflow, it did used to take a little bit longer in order to get that done, but not anymore. Now, whenever you click on something, you can get a copy AI selector option over here. You can also press Command L or Control L on Windows to copy that selector. You take that, come over here to your session, and then you can paste it in. This is the fast mode of operations. Each microscopic edit, and this spans across 105 operations, spanning across different properties of different widgets, and all of these will be completed in like 10, 12 seconds each. And so with that entire workflow, don't judge me on design. I'm a developer, right? So, and as you can see, this is updating not just on the FlutterFlow project, but because of the live session, it is also updating directly on your device. So you can complete the loop in that way, and you can have a full agentic experience while developing. That was it for the demo, but 2-3 more things that we are releasing in the next version of MCP. One, full branching support is coming to MCP, so you will be able to create new branches, see your commit history, even merge different branches on FlutterFlow with the MCP and your agent, and also library support. So you'll be able to move things from one project to different libraries, refactor, and do all those sweet things that you can do on libraries with FlutterFlow. All of that without leaving your terminal. I hope you have a great FFDC. Thank you.
But we're so excited for how our MCP can transform the way you build while still taking advantage of the level of visual control that makes FlutterFlow unique. But of course, speeding up feature development often means speeding up bug development too, something we're a little bit too familiar with ourselves, which is why we're investing in ways to make your apps more stable. So I'd like to invite Ailey onto the stage to show us how you can still move fast without breaking things.
Hi, folks. I'm Ailey. I'm a product engineer based in the UK. Raise your hand if you've ever shipped a bug to production. Oh, good hands. Yeah, me too, unfortunately. The features that you're going to learn about today are going to help you build faster than ever before, but as Alex said, there's a catch with that. The faster you ship code, the more likely you are to introduce bugs into that code. Now, you know what the solution is. It's better testing, but historically, that's been a bit difficult. FlutterFlow's current automated test feature, it does allow you to write end-to-end tests for your user journeys, but they're a little bit tricky to set up. You can't run them inside FlutterFlow, and there's no visual element to the responses. So we recognized that there was a lot that we could do to improve this feature and make your apps safer to ship. Less bugs, happier users. So today I am introducing Test Pilot, your AI-powered QA team directly inside FlutterFlow. You describe what your app should do in plain English, and Test Pilot turns that intent into repeatable automated test coverage. When you hit run, Test Pilot does the rest. It builds your app, runs the tests, and returns the responses to you with screenshots every step of the way. So let's see it in motion. Here's my application. It's going to help me feed my 2 cats. And it needs some test coverage. So if we head to the testing page, we can now see Test Pilot. And the way that it works is we can configure different groups of tests. So within this group, we have a couple of tests. And we can also define parameters for those tests. So if I have a look at my test parameters here, I have configured 2. I have my email and password. And these are just some credentials that I can use, and I can pass them into every test. So if I take a look at one of my groups, I have a couple of tests here, but let's add a new one. So I'm going to call it my login test. And all I have to do is explain what I want to happen. So I'm going to enter when I hit the $sign, I'm going to get access to those parameters that I configured. So I'll say enter the email and password into the text fields and tap login. Notice I don't have to define which text fields. It's just going to work it out. And the expected outcome, you should see the cat profiles page. And that's it. That's my full login test. And I want this to happen first, so I'm going to put it up here. And we can make tests happen sequentially. We can make one thing happen, then another, or we can restart the app completely between tests. So once I hit run, there's a couple of configuration options that I have. So at the moment, I've just got my iPhone, but I can add multiple devices in one test run. So I can add my tablets, I can add desktop if I'm supporting multiple device sizes. I can choose light mode and dark mode if I have both, and I can also choose the development environment that I've got configured. Once I hit run, off it goes and it starts testing. This will take about 5 or 6 minutes, so in the meantime, I'm going to have a look at one of my historical runs that I did this morning. So let's take a look at the results. For each of the tests in the run, I'm going to find out exactly what happened and how it looked. So if I collapse this, here are my 4 tests in this test run. Let's take a look at a happy path. So here I was adding a cat. So we can see exactly the screenshots and all the actions that Test Pilot took as it was running this test. But most exciting, we can see the full playback. So if I tap this, here are the screenshots, and here are the exact actions that Test Pilot took for each step of this test. So I can see exactly it tapped here. I can have a look around at this. I can see exactly which text fields it tapped on. I can see exactly the input that it entered. I asked it to add a random cat, so it completely produced this data itself. And it's added a very large cat called Whiskers, who likes salmon. And I can see the end result. That's the happy path. If a test fails for some reason, so let's take a look at this one. So I asked it to confirm, can you see this particular cat in the list of cats? And it's trying, Scrolling, I haven't told it to do anything, to tap on anything. I just said, is there this data in this list? And it's scrolling, can't find things, trying a couple of different times, and eventually it just says, I tried. I couldn't do it. It failed. So that's a failed test, which is absolutely fine. All right. So Test Pilot is going into beta this week, and we're just getting started. In addition to all the features I just described, we're going to have scheduled runs. So you can schedule Test Pilot to run every day, or every time you make a commit, or every time you deploy to GitHub. So you can catch those bugs long before they ever find your users. FlutterFlow in 2026 is not just about building faster, it is about building better, and Test Pilot will help fly you there. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Ailey. We believe that thorough testing is vital for this fast era of building. And we're actually using the same testing automation ourselves across our products, so we're really excited to roll this out to you all. All right, so we've covered ways to move faster and debug your product for your projects, and we've covered ways to test it. But one other key problem we want to solve is a better way to go from 0 to 1 in FlutterFlow. So I'd like to introduce Norbert onto the stage to show us our exciting new approach to solving this problem. There we go.
Thanks, Alex. So, next up, I want to talk about our latest addition to the FlutterFlow family, which is FlutterFlow Lite. FlutterFlow Lite is a new optional experience for new users or users who already know FlutterFlow to get started in a new project and get from 0 to 1 fast. It is powered by the same core that powers Designer, allowing you to build beautiful apps in record time. We got a lot of feedback from users who really like Designer, who really like FlutterFlow, but felt the gap between the two was still a bit too high. And this is exactly the gap FlutterFlow Lite aims to close. But enough talking, I want to show you some live demos. So, I prepared a small app, which is a clone of the Qantas frequent flyer app. And what you can see here is a chat on the left and the app view on the right. And this is an app that is interactable, you can navigate, and it is executed in a lightweight environment, meaning while it is an app that you can interact with, you can also just jump to different screens without having to log in every time and do these tedious steps. It kind of lives in between execution and design. In addition to that, it supports all the necessary things that you'd need in a new app, such as an overview of all your themes, your colors, typography, and so on. Furthermore, you have Firebase, a database setup, you have your collections that you can see, and authentication wired. So let me show you how fast this is. So in the trips page, you can see your trips, what's upcoming, and there's a new tab which is following, which is supposed to show where your friends are traveling. But I didn't implement this yet, so let's do that together. Let me open a new chat, paste this in. Basically just tells the AI to implement the following tab. We want to see where friends are traveling. I want to be able to click on those. Let's pray to the demo gods this actually works. It's always fun to have a non-deterministic machine doing demos. While this is generating, I want to emphasize the focus is on speed and rapid iterations. Frontier models can solve one of the hardest problems in coding and a lot of science, but you don't always need all the intelligence just to implement the login screen or iterate on a feature. So that's basically the gap FlutterFlow Lite is aiming to solve. So implementing your following tab, and this turned out pretty well. So it's pretty basic. It gives you an overview of people when they're arriving, when they're, I guess, departing. And this was done in less than half a minute. Once you're ready and you want to take it to the next level, publish it, and actually iterate on it in FlutterFlow, you can just hit the Export to FlutterFlow button, which I pre-exported right now. And it gives you the same experience as if you started with this project in FlutterFlow all along. Imports all the screens, wires up all the database connections. You see your trips here. You see all the data types. You see the state. And it uses FlutterFlow best practices. So if we go to one of the buttons, for example, it should set up like a proper action flow that you're used to in FlutterFlow. That's it. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Norbert. We're really excited about all the ways you can leverage AI to build even faster in FlutterFlow. But of course, speed is only useful if the underlying platform keeps getting stronger, which is where our other theme of build better comes in.
I tried to control.
We've been increasing the power of FlutterFlow itself, improving the day-to-day experience for everyone building here, and listening closely to your feedback and features that you've all been asking us for. And before we jump into demos, I'll kick things off by announcing one of the most requested features of them all, which is support for Supabase Edge Functions. For teams building with Supabase, Edge Functions are where a lot of important app logic lives, whether that's secure server-side logic, AI workflows, or data processing that shouldn't happen on the front end. Today, we're bringing support for Supabase Edge Functions into FlutterFlow. You can now write Edge Functions directly within the platform or through our MCP, and of course, deploy without ever leaving the product. Now, imagine you've built your app, you've written and deployed your Edge Functions, and you want to test things out in your actual running application. Well, the best way to do that is, of course, using test mode, a feature that many of you know and love and use every single day. But as we all know, it does come with some limitations, which is why I'm excited to welcome Andre onto the stage to show us what he's been cooking.
Hi, everyone. How are you feeling all? All right? Nice. Yeah, so I'm Andre. I'm on engineering team here at FlutterFlow. But whenever I'm not doing engineering in FlutterFlow, I really like playing billiards. However, it's sometimes really hard to find a free table in my hometown in Poland. So I'm building this app that will help me with that. As you can see, it's very much work in progress. So let me fix some bugs right here on stage. And for that, I will jump to a test mode. Oh, it already expired. This is so annoying, right? But this is just current state of things. And let me jump to a new test mode, which is now living in a new tab in the builder. All right. Oh, look. What's that? Yeah. That's right. That's right. As long as you stay active and you're on a paid plan, your session will never expire. Well, let's actually start fixing some bugs. Some colors aren't matching, right? Typically, you'd go back to the builder, select your component, and update something that you want to update. But for convenience, we added this thing right here, which allows you to inspect elements right in the running app. So if you click on the component, it will bring you back to the builder UI, where you can make some changes. And of course, those changes will propagate back to the running app, Yep. Well, I found it a bit tedious to be jumping back and forth between those two tabs, but there is a solution for that. This button right here will open your running app in the Builder UI alongside, well, actual Builder. Let's fix this annoying overflow. Again, inspector is enabled. If you click right here, it will bring you to the component view. And let me quickly fix the height. Yep, it updated right here. Having this floating window is kind of nice, but what I find actually really nice is being able to test on a real device. And with this thing right here, we can scan this QR code. You can also do that if you want. There's a couple hundreds of people watching live. Hope this goes well. Let me fix that thing. If anyone has it open, it should propagate on your device. Yeah? OK. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the test mode improvements. Looking forward to your feedback early next week. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Andre. OK, so I know I, for one at least, am very excited to get rid of that pesky 30-minute limit. So very excited for these updates. But now on to our next one. Now, I know we've talked a lot about how agents can help you build your projects, but we also want to help you bring the power of AI to your users, which is why we've made some big improvements to our AI agents, which are currently used by thousands of users to make it extremely simple to build AI experiences in your app. And I'd like to bring on Wenkai onto the stage to show us what's possible with these improvements.
Thanks, Alex. I'm excited to show everyone our improvements to our AI agent panel. But first, I'm going on vacation after this, and I need to speak to my host for my trip next week in Paris. So let me bring up my phone and tell him that I'll be there next Tuesday at 3 p.m., and I need to pick up my keys. Oh, sorry. So here's my phone. I just need to hold this. 我下周三下午2点钟到，你能给我钥匙吗？ And the app is transcribing. Here's my speech text in Chinese.
J'arriverai mercredi prochain à 14 h. Pouvez-vous me donner les clés?
I don't know French, but I hope that's accurate enough. Yeah, and just like that, I can send the text and the audio to my host. Of course, this app is built in FlutterFlow. So let's take a look at how this is possible. We only need to set up 3 agents in FlutterFlow to handle the speech-to-text, the translation, and the text-to-speech flows. Previously, AI agents in FlutterFlow could only generate text. Now, not only have we added the latest models from the existing providers, we have also added models that can output audio, image, and even video. And you will still be able to deploy these agents within FlutterFlow, so all your secrets are secure. And using these models are just one action in the builder. And we will be adding support for more models and providers in the near future. So stay tuned. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the demo, Wenkai. The agent panel helps you bake AI into your apps with a few clicks and zero custom code. But if your app does use a lot of custom code, which I know many of yours do, then we do have some fun improvements coming for you. And to show you what I mean, I'd like to invite Pooja up to the stage to walk us through some of these changes.
Thanks, Wenkai and Alex, and I love that travel app and how easy it was to implement multi-modular agents into FlutterFlow apps. And we have a lot of, So as Alex mentioned, a lot of these complex projects have a lot of custom code, right? So let's go to the FlutterFlow app that Wenkai was building. Okay. Can I have my screen? All right, so yay. So here's the project that Wenkai was working on, right? Like we had the listen page that you just saw, the chat page. And I think he was definitely working on some custom action, which is sanitizing the messages before sending it to the translation agent. Let me see if I can find you that. Oh, there's like 20, 30 custom functions. And I don't even know the name of the function, and it's all unordered. Only if custom code was treated as a first-class citizen in the project tree layer. So yes, you guessed that right. Early on, we did not have a great way to organize the project custom code files until now. So let's click on that and switch to the new layout. All right, so now we have this new layout with the custom code folders and the configuration files as well. So let's see if I can find the action. And there we go. This was the action that Wenkai must have used to sanitize messages. And I feel like this should belong to my feature folders chat, because I have organized my folders into the feature folders. We have auth, chat, explore, profile. So we'd love to move this to my chat folder. So there we go. So now we have all the pages, components, and the relevant code files all in the same folder, if that's what you like. With this, the custom code tab is finally removed. So you do have all the type files in the same layer, and you can filter it by pages or components or code. And of course, you can also create a new file right from here. So let me just create a new function, and as you can see, there's a new editing layout, which is on the right panel. So let's say maybe I could just say print ffdc as the function name, and we could just return ffdc here and save this. All right, so now if you can see, this function is now part of the parent directory, and I can do the classic drag and drop and move it to the relevant folder. All right, so this was the demo of the new project organization. Can we have the slides as well? And I know that this has been one of the most highly requested features for FlutterFlow, dating back as far as 2 years. So we are genuinely thrilled to finally bring the new project organization to all FlutterFlow apps. This would be enabled by default in new projects, and the older projects, existing projects, can switch to the layout if they like to experiment. So that was it. Thank you so much. And I would like to bring Alex back here for more amazing updates.
All right, thanks, Pooja. I mean, I've seen projects that use hundreds of custom functions, so I know this is going to be a welcomed improvement. We are so excited for these FlutterFlow 7.0 changes. And this release is going live next week, and we can't wait to see all the incredible things you all build with these features. But of course, that's not all we've been up to. We also have some updates on Designer, and I'd like to invite Abel to join me for this next session.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you. 3 months ago, we launched Designer to help you generate and edit designs instantly with full visual control and the ability to seamlessly integrate it into FlutterFlow. Thanks to all of the feedback we've gotten since then, we're excited to announce that today Designer moves from beta with the launch of Designer 1.0. With Designer 1.0, we focused on 3 core tenets: speed, quality, and collaboration. For the first time ever, we're launching a custom model that generates higher quality designs in half the time. That's 4 seconds per frame for generations and edits in under 1 second, the fastest design model in the world.
We're also launching native component libraries for high-fidelity designs and a whole lot more. And to take us through a deep dive of component libraries, I'd like to invite Cody up onto the stage to show us more.
Thanks. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, all right. Yeah, my name's Cody. I lead product design here with FlutterFlow. To start, I think it's fair to say that designs made with AI have come a long way. We are kind of past the era where everything produced looks like a purple gradient landing page. And the fidelity of generations keeps getting better and better with every new model release. But I think there's still a tell when something was generated by AI, and I'm sure everyone has noticed the same thing. And that's that AI designs tend to look the same, right? If you ask any AI tool for a banking app, a fitness app, productivity app, you usually get something that looks somewhat polished, but very familiar. Something that lacks any kind of originality or platform-specific taste. It's even gotten to the point where we can tell which model created which design. And that makes sense, right? These models are generating from a broad average of what they were trained on. And when you generate from the average, you usually get average taste. So with FlutterFlow Designer, we want to approach this a bit differently. Instead of asking the agent to invent everything from scratch every time, we're going to be giving it high-quality design libraries to work within, meaning it'll have better primitives, constraints, and just a better sense of the design language that you want it to use. The first library that we built is iOS Liquid Glass. Now, whether you love Liquid Glass or hate it, Apple is clearly pushing it across their ecosystem, and it's going to be a dominant foundation for probably the next decade. What we found is that AI is very bad at making native-looking designs. Most things it creates kind of leaves you with this uncanny valley feeling, right? It's close, but something's off. So what you're seeing here is a native iOS-inspired component library built directly in the language that powers FlutterFlow Designer. These aren't screenshots, they're real components and patterns that Designer can use, theme, remix, and generate with. And because our agents are getting very good at working with this design language, they can now produce screens that feel much more platform native. These are a few examples that I generated yesterday using this library. This is Linear. If you've ever used a Linear app, just like their desktop app, it's a very good showcase of what liquid glass can look like when it's done tastefully. And our designer agent nailed it using this library. This is Goodreads. Now, it can seem like nothing special at first, but when it comes to looking and feeling native, it's really the small things that count. Like with this Qantas app, it's kind of the reflections and elevations of the icon buttons in the top bar. It's the gentle shadowing under the search input. These are the small things that make the app feel real and like it was actually designed by someone using native materials. But beyond this initial library, the bigger idea is that we want users to be able to create their own design systems, component libraries, and taste profiles, and then have their agents work within those constraints. If you and your team have a brand, a product style, or a system you want to preserve, agents should be able to work fully within it, both for new generations or even the smallest tweaks to existing designs. Longer term, we want this to become one of the largest catalogs of real design patterns in the world. Almost like a Mobbin-style experience, but instead of static screenshots, they're real components that can be brought into Designer, brought into FlutterFlow, or leveraged by your agents anywhere. The last thing I want to talk about is another limitation of AI design, which is that most outputs are just static mockups, just pictures. But as you all know very well, real screens have state, they have keyboards, bottom sheets, dialogues, all the other kind of surface variations that make an app feel real. Now, we've already made it easy to generate dynamic components in FlutterFlow Designer with variants and styles, but now we're extending that same concept to pages, and we're calling it page variants. So page variants let Designer generate and maintain the different states for a single page, not just a default view. So you can see your page with the keyboard app open, for example, or with an action sheet, perhaps, or a context menu, or maybe you want to get a bit wild and have it with a context menu, action sheet, and a keyboard. But the idea here is that because these variants are built from your component library and design systems, agents can use them consistently across all your pages. So to wrap up, the summary here is that component libraries will give your agents better taste. Page variants will give you a better sense of what your app actually looks and feels like in the hands of your users. Both are about moving AI design away from the average and towards something that actually feels like it was designed with intent. Both these features, libraries and page variants, will be available in Designer in the coming weeks, and the broader catalog of design systems, components, and patterns will follow shortly thereafter. Thanks, everyone. I'll pass it back to Alex to keep us moving. There you go.
All right.
Cheers.
Nice. All right. Thanks, Cody. We're excited to see all of the amazing designs you'll all be able to create with a solid foundation of libraries. But there's so much more functionality we've added to this latest release. So without giving too much away, I'd like to invite Mike to show us a little bit more.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike, a product engineer at FlutterFlow. I'm really happy to be here with everyone to share some exciting new updates to FlutterFlow Designer with you. So first, we'll get started on a live demo of our new collaboration experience. Let me just plug everything in. Okay, I'm going to start by generating a design in Designer. I've already prepared something here for a journaling app for all the traveling. Let's go ahead and submit that. Now, while that's generating, I think it would be much more fun to collaborate with friends. So I'd like to welcome Anusha to the stage. And Alex, could you help me bring the table, please? Thank you so much. Hi, Anusha.
Hey, everyone, and hi, Mike.
I really need some help with some of my designs. And you know how I'm like with my designs. Would you be able to help me?
That sounds fun. I mean, somebody has to keep an eye on your design, so happy to help.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and just invite you to this project. I've worked very hard to create. Let's go and invite you. OK, I've invited you. You should be able to join now.
Yeah, I think I'm in.
Yes. OK, I see you. So what do you think of the design so far? Are we missing anything?
It's beautiful. I mean, this is a perfect travel logging app. It has all these pages where I can track my travel and also see my next destinations. So it's just beautiful. Maybe we can add just one more page.
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Something related to helping me pack. Probably a page that can keep track of my packing list and also give me suggestions.
OK.
You know what? I'll just add a comment so you can just take a look at it later.
Yeah, I can take a look at that later. Oh, nice. I've seen your comments. So instead of me doing it myself in today's true fashion of AI for everything, let's go ahead and bring in the agent into this conversation to generate that new screen for us. The Wi-Fi today. OK, there we are. So what do you think of this new screen that I've, again, worked really hard to add?
I think it's good. It did cover what I wanted, so that is pretty good. But while you were generating that, I was trying to look at the designs earlier, and I think because we are in SF, maybe we should change one of these images to something related to SF.
That would be a good idea. Let's go ahead and maybe add a comment for me to do that later.
Sure. Change this to SFO.
OK. I can see that you've left a comment. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, there's another AI button here. Wonder what this does. Let's go ahead and press this button. OK. AI is not liking us today. So I'm going to continue, but we can all pretend that's a nice, beautiful picture of the Golden Gate Bridge. So yes, Anusha, what do you think of this new picture?
Since it did not really meet my expectations, probably we could elevate the app in some other ways, maybe change the theme.
I like that. Maybe let's add maybe a bluish color to the theming.
Yeah, that works. Let's see. Do you think this looks good? Or maybe something darker?
Oh, that looks good. The lights are blue.
Yeah, how about... OK,
yeah,
we can
let's
start
go
with this.
Maybe we can increase the spacing a little bit.
Sure. And then the spacing, this is too much, so probably a little tighter.
Yeah, that looks great.
OK.
Thank you. Could we go back to slides? Thank you. All right, so to sum up, we are introducing a new way to collaborate on Designer, as well as bringing your agents into the conversations that you have with your team members. You can also leave comments anywhere on the canvas, and with one click, the AI can turn that into whatever your intent was in that conversation. We're also introducing Windows desktop support as of this week. That's one of the highly requested features, so please be sure to give that a go.
And then your generations are now 2x faster. We have a custom model that cuts your wait time into half and then increases your productivity. Edits are technically supposed to be instant so that feedback never blocks your progress. So that's it from us. Passing it back to Alex. Thank you.
Nicely done. Great job. All right. Thanks, Mike and Anusha, for the demo. We are so excited to launch Designer 1.0 next week, along with FlutterFlow 7.0, and bring these faster, more collaborative workflows to everyone building in it. And more broadly, I hope today has given you a sense of where we're headed across both FlutterFlow and Designer. We have a huge amount planned for the rest of 2026 across both products, and honestly, this is one of the most excited we've ever been about the direction of the platform. But before we wrap things up, I want to invite Abel back onto the stage to close us out and share some thoughts on the times ahead.
Hey everyone. Now I'm going to share what I think is the best way to differentiate in this new age of AI. But let me first start with a story. I want to tell you a story about my cousin, Jimmy. See, Jimmy's very passionate about literature, especially in his native tongue, Amharic. But he had a problem. He couldn't find a large collection of audiobooks in the language and other languages in the region. So 7 years ago, Jimmy had an idea. Make audiobooks in African languages more accessible. It became an obsession. He felt the problem and need himself, and he really wanted to solve it. So he did what founders do, and he went to work. He got the licensing deals in place with authors. He got the initial set of books recorded. And then came the technology, the delivery mechanism, the app. He's a software engineer by trade, but at the time, he had to support his family and couldn't leave his job to dedicate his time fully on building this product. So he spent over a year and a lot of his life savings, over $100,000, getting an app developed. But by the end, after all this time spent, he did not even have an app that worked on one platform. He was very frustrated. And that was the reality 7 years ago. This problem is very frustrating for him because he cared about the solution, he wanted to control it, but he couldn't do anything. And that is exactly what inspired us 6 years ago to start FlutterFlow. Because the part that stuck with me in that story is that, in this case, the product should not have been the hardest part. And now, because Jimmy's story is not rare, a lot of people here know someone like this, someone with an idea, someone who has a deep understanding of a customer, a problem, but without the means or resources to bring it to life. And for a long time, that barrier decided who got to build, which ideas became products, and which problems were worth solving. And that's what we wanted to change. FlutterFlow has always been about removing the technical barrier between people who have ideas and the products they want to create. Not so that everybody can go and build random apps faster, but so people who care about a specific problem and want to serve their customers can do that. That distinction matters. It's about solving a problem. And that's the world we've been building towards. And in this journey, a technological shift happened, a revolution. All of a sudden, it felt like development is at everyone's fingertips. And it felt like the mission was never closer to reality. Now let's walk through the journey that we've taken at FlutterFlow with AI. In 2022, we introduced our first AI integration. It was called OpenAI Codex integration back then. It was the ability to generate custom functions from simple text descriptions that you can go and use in your products instantly. In 2023, we introduced PageGen, allowing you to generate pages and components in FlutterFlow from simple descriptions, but it took over a minute, and you can only generate one at a time. This served as the foundation for Designer today. In 2024, we introduced Magic Cursor at FFDC, actually, and it aimed to give you the ability to edit your FlutterFlow pages at very targeted points, both UI and logic. We launched this to some beta users, but we had some issues with the consistency of the models, so it never made it to general availability. And last year, we launched Dreamflow. Dreamflow lets you generate full Flutter apps from a prompt and iterate on it with a chat interface and make updates. But we heard from a lot of you that you wanted the same level of visual control that you've come to use and expect in FlutterFlow. So we launched, we learned. It took us longer than many of you wanted. But what has become clear to us is that for our customers, for builders who want control and speed, it's not enough to make the most of AI with just a prompt box and a chat interface. Because this lets you either lose control, because you have to delegate everything to an agent. And if you delegate everything, you can't put the control and touches you need to differentiate your product. Or the technical barrier is back. So we're back to where we started, when we launched 5 years ago. How do we bring visual control to product development, and now in the age of AI? We believe visual interface gives you the ability to add transparency to your product, to be able to see how your product is made up, the building blocks, pages, components. How does the user journey flow? What does that experience look like? How does data flow through your app? We believe that visual control gives you the transparency that you need. That was true 5 years ago when we launched FlutterFlow, and we believe it's true today. That's what we care about. And in all of the launches that you've seen today, whether it's FlutterFlow MCP, FlutterFlow Designer, FlutterFlow Lite, that's the approach we're taking. Enabling you to work with AI while you have full visual control. That's what we care about and what we've shown. But so far, I've really been talking about the single user experience. But of course, nothing was built by one individual alone, even working with AI. And it's very important to work together as a team. Because when you work with other people, not just agents, you bounce off ideas that you'd never generate alone. And you make connections between these ideas that you might not get. So it's ever more important to work closely with your team. And we face this ourselves at FlutterFlow as a product company and as a product team. And I want to show you some of the things we're doing and how we're building that is helping us kind of manage this age. So if you can switch over to the demo, please. All right. I think I remember my password now. OK. So one of the things about when you're working with a team, the best way we believe to put the care that you need in the products is to use it yourself. And so as you can see, these are the slides that I've been showing. It was designed in Designer. We've been trying to use the products as much as possible. And so we're building faster. We're using agents. And we have a remote team, so we're collaborating online. And sometimes, as you build fast, especially with AI, it can be hard to keep track of context. Things move really quickly. And so we asked ourselves, we have this canvas. It's multiplayer now. You can interact here. You can add comments. What else can we do with this canvas? Can we add more to the canvas? Can you bring your terminals into the canvas? Can you bring your FlutterFlow projects onto the canvas? What if you can kind of bring your teammates on the canvas and start collaborating together? And so that's actually what you're looking at here. We're using this internally. A lot of the features you've seen in the launch today were built on campus. And it's this thing that's behind here. And as I zoom out, you'll see this is where I've been hanging out. You can see the FlutterFlow project there. I have a task board that I've been using. Teammates are here. They can come and look at what I'm doing. Now, I have full control, so I can turn off anything I don't want to share. All right, we're getting some reactions. Maybe that people didn't like that. So Mike is here. And it's kind of special when you work on a canvas with your teammates, and they come in and interact with you while you're working. It's just a different level of connection that you feel that you're missing when you work online. I can head over to, let's see, Cody's workspace. That's just beautiful. So clean. You've seen these before in his presentation. And so this is something that we've been excited about. We really believe the future of collaboration, especially around product teams, is going to be visual and agentic. And this is something we're experimenting with ourselves internally now. We have a wait list coming out soon. We'd love to kind of get your feedback on it. And let's head back to the slides to wrap up. Technology is no longer the barrier, and caring is the differentiator. So go build something worth caring about with your team. Thank you. Okay, I think that's it for now.